Former President Donald Trump's favorability numbers are up huge. In one of our latest polls, they hit 59%, which ties his all-time highest job approval rating, which he got on the very first week of his term. Now, although Joe Biden got the most votes in presidential history, and even though Joe Biden got 15 million more votes than the next highest Democrat presidential candidate contender, his job approval rating in our polling never got higher than 52%, even in the beginning of his term. Now, today, Joe Biden's job approval rating is down to 42%, a recent low. And the last time we tested Joe Biden favorability, the number was 46%, which is 13 points less than Trump does now. But why am I bringing these numbers up? Because today we're going to talk about Trump's criminal cases. But before we do, here are some results from recent polling. Former President Donald Trump has been charged with multiple felony counts in Manhattan. Is this good for America or bad for America? 39% of voters said good, but 55%, a pretty stunning majority, said bad for America, including 34% of Democrats and a stunning 63% of independents. And a ridiculous 64% of voters agreed that this Manhattan felony charge is, quote, banana republic sort of stuff, and that using law as a weapon against political opponents is so wrong. 62% of independents agreed, as well as 46% of Democrats. Now, with numbers like this, I think it's pretty fair to say that not only is this not hurting Trump, but his numbers seem to be better than they've ever been. And the Democrats seem like they may be staring down some pretty ominous backlash. But maybe they don't care because they're gunning for a Trump prison sentence. Well, only 28% of voters say it's at least somewhat likely that Trump will be sentenced to prison, and only 11% of them say very likely. 62% of voters say not likely. But that 28% is driven almost entirely by party numbers. 50% of Democrats think it's at least somewhat likely Trump is going to prison, but only 17% of Republicans and independents agree, and only about 7% of independents and Republicans say that it's very likely. Although it's important to point out, only 20% of Democrats think a Trump prison sentence is very likely as well. But the biggest number of anywhere in the crosstabs, 62% of voters who strongly approve of Biden think it's at least somewhat likely that Trump's going to be charged with a prison sentence, including nearly 1/3 who say very likely. But let's get into the motivation behind these investigations. 44% of voters think Trump is being investigated because of actual crimes he has committed, but 50% of voters say the government is just trying to stop Trump from running for president. 7% aren't sure. The age numbers are pretty interesting. Younger voters are much more likely to say that Trump is being investigated because of actual crimes, and following recent patterns, middle-aged voters are the strongest pro-Trump signal here. Here are the party numbers, and the Republican and Democrat signals are equal and opposite. 20% of Republicans think Trump's investigators are trying to uncover actual crimes, but 21% of Democrats think the government is just trying to stop Trump from running. I'll add that those 20-point crossovers are larger than the crossovers that Trump and Biden each get in a hypothetical rematch, meaning that some Democrats think Trump is being persecuted and vote Biden anyway, and some Republicans think Trump did something criminal and vote Trump anyway. Independents, however, the truth tellers, say that this is all about getting Trump. Only 32% of independents think that these investigations are because of actual Trump crimes, while 56% say that this is about the government interfering in 2024. And while we're talking about election interference, here's a recap from a question 2 weeks ago. In a set of questions about the open letter by 51 former U.S. intelligence officials falsely claiming that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation, nearly twice as many voters think that U.S. intelligence officials interfering in 2020 was more harmful to democracy than Russian interference in the 2016 election. So maybe this is more a story about the mainstream media. Don't forget that 58% of likely voters think that the media is the enemy of the people. Now, as pollsters, we ask questions that the mainstream pollsters are not going to touch with a 10-foot pole. If you want to support us, there are a couple of ways you can do that without paying. First, sign up for a free daily newsletter of all of our latest polls at rasmussenreports.com. Follow us at Twitter at Rasmussen_poll. And don't forget to go to YouTube and like this video and click subscribe. It's free to you, but it really helps our videos get seen by more people. And thanks for watching.